To talk about sports nutrition during the higher education course. The presentation that I did in front of um, athletes on the Talented Athlete program several weeks ago. Today's session objectives include determining the obstacles that young people have to overcome as students, which affect their nutritional patterns. We're gonna learn how to plan the week ahead. We're gonna talk about wise selection of the shops to ensure the quality and reasonable food prices. Talk about easy ways to enhance the meal with quality protein, about student food essentials that might become young person essentials. A little word about supplementation and decision-making process for using the supplements, about the quality of protein and dietary analysis. Sports nutrition during academic year might be a quite challenging subject. Students will face a lot of different barriers that will prevent them from eating healthy. And these barriers usually concern lack of time, low budget, access to easy processed foods, access to restaurants and takeaways, and also limited knowledge and skill on food processing and in general of the dietary products. So what's the solution? The solutions are there for everybody, and these include learning how to plan the week ahead, including shopping and cooking, and maybe trying to expand the skill set and knowledge on food products and meal preparation. Planning your week ahead will provide you with a lot of life experience. It will save you a lot of time, money. It will make you organize, and it will let you unleash your potential in cooking, which is really good as we learn it as young people, because these life skills stay with us for a long time. So what is do and don'ts when you have a limited budget? So I would say preparation of the shopping list is essential. The bulk shopping once in 2 weeks might sort a lot of time-related issues as well as money-related issues. Buying products that store well, like pasta, rice, passatas, tunas, the beans, tins, buying the big pack instead of a little one, and maybe shop for eggs and vegetable in local grocery stores. What not to do is never try ever go shopping for food while you're hungry. You're gonna spend a lot of money, and probably most of that products are going to land in the bin. The often you shop, the more you spend. So think about how to plan your weeks ahead, and how not to visit them shops so often. And never rely on takeaways, whether nutritional wise or time saving wise or money saving wise. So this is the little map that shows you University of Hull, which is a great location, really. We've got Tesco just around the corner on Newland Ave. And as we follow the Cottingham Road, you have Lidl and other grocery stores, Fruitopia on Newland, Heron Foods, the healthy food stores like Brain further down Newland, as well as maybe Beverley Road, some Asda on Beverley Road, as well as Springbank with the grocery stores that are open 24/7. So let's talk about the macronutrients. We've got 3 major macronutrients. This includes carbohydrates, like bread, pasta, rice, grains, fruit and vegetable, protein, like meat, eggs, dairy products, beans and pulses, as well as fats, which consider vegetable oils, nuts, and animal fats. So in general, our diet consists of majority of carbohydrates, and we are good for fat, if not too good, if I can say so. But protein is the macronutrient that usually is consumed at smaller amounts to what it could be in order to optimize our body composition. So carbohydrates are responsible for providing energy for our bodies. Carbohydrates also will be very useful in great amounts when you do long period activities, or maybe endurance based running, cycling, swimming. This is your fuel for such sorts of activities. When it comes to protein, well, the protein consists of amino acids, which are building blocks of the tissues. Therefore, when it comes to regeneration after training, the protein is what you need in order to rebuild and your tissues and replenish your amino acids in the muscles, stop the breakdown of muscle mass, and boost the recovery after training. Fat is responsible for functioning of our nervous system. So we also need to include it in our diet, and it can be used as a spare energy for, as I said, if needed for an endurance-based activities. I've prepared fridge and cupboard essentials. Have a quick look, maybe 10-20 seconds. Think about it, and then look at the pictures which are included, which show some of the combinations that you can build by mixing these ingredients. I think this is pretty decent shopping list, and this is what you want to have in your fridge, in your cupboards, and in your kitchen. So another thing is how to limit waste. Sometimes people think, oh, I'm on my own. Why do I want to cook a lot? Well, you want to cook once or twice a week and be sure that you can eat it throughout the rest of your week, as you probably will not use as much energy. You will be more organized, you can freeze it, and you can consume it without thinking even of standing forever in the kitchen. So what can go in the freezer? Homemade curries, spaghetti bolognese can go, whether it is just the sauce or with cooked pasta, it can go together. Soups, chicken breasts and meatballs, spinach, kale, bell peppers, cheese, bread and butter. These are sort of products that can go in a freezer. So if you buy bulk, you can preserve it for later on. And sometimes, as I said, you want to cook once, then you don't need to think about wasting your time, or when you're preparing for your assignment or you're busy with your job, you don't need to think about, oh, do I have ingredients? Do I have time? Do I have this? Do I have... No, you just open the freezer, you pull something that you made at certain time out of the freezer, stick it in the microwave, and or in the on the pan, and you've got ready meal full of nutrients. You know what's in it. In order to store it well, there's a good solution to have containers available, or tip and zip bags, which are absolutely great, as you can use them in a microwave as well as you can use them in the freezer. You can also scan the code. This is my Instagram account where I post different recipes and different food related posts, which are meant to maybe give you an idea of what's in certain foods, macronutrient wise, and maybe give you some ideas on how to prepare and what to prepare. Sometimes you just need that little additional ideas. So let's talk about the protein. What is the protein source and its quality? So we've got animal and non-animal based protein sources. So animal-based protein source, eggs, dairy products, lean meats, and non-animal, you've got lentils, you've got beans and pulses, peas, dal. These are considered to be the source of protein. How do we know that some product has quality protein in it? Well, the quality of protein is assessed by the essential amino acid content, and actually leucine is very important when it comes to stimulating muscle fractional synthesis, which you want to stimulate as you do sports or train. So now we want to talk about the protein absorption. Some people like to have the big meals in the morning and in the evening, and in the between that time they tend to consume little or just snacks. Well, hunger hasn't been a good predictor of a nutritional need. Sometimes it can be tricky. It is affected by many factors. And when it comes to protein, in order for it to work, you need to provide it in regular periods of time throughout the day at the quantity that stimulates your body to absorb them and to facilitate the process of recovery, which you want when you train. So you don't get illness, you don't get injuries, you prevent your body from maladaptive response to training. So in this case, the charts are from Jokendrup and Gleason are showing you the net protein gains where you can absorb the most of the nutrient. And we can see that post-training, the protein needs are elevated. Yeah, this is that bit. So the protein has to be provided post-exercise. It doesn't have to be 5 seconds after you finish. It doesn't have to be the shake, but it has to be the quality protein up to 2 hours after the training. Okay, so let's talk about ergogenic aids. Ergogenic aids are the substances from food that are meant to enhance your training outcomes. These are caffeine, maybe some amino acids, as I mentioned, essential amino acids, creatine, anything that can support your training outcome. So what we want to know about the decision-making process, you want to know what type of athletes you are, at what level you want to play, and whether you want to risk it as some supplements are not batch tested and you don't know what's in it, because some of the substances might be not listed and you might not even know that you're consuming something that is illegal. And then when you get tested, you might just have the consequences of consuming something that is not illegal. So it's good to visit the prohibited list from World Anti-Doping Agency, and maybe see the UK anti-doping stand on certain substances and behaviors that are not really seen as fair behaviors. So, okay, let's talk about the decision-making process. How do I decide that I need to use something? So, well, this is quite a complicated sheet that I've attached on this slide. It doesn't have to be that complicated. The simple question you answer is whether you can get the nutrient from your diet. And if answer is yes, you can get the nutrient from your diet, then you don't need to supplement it. And if the question is no, you won't be able to get it from your diet. The excellent example is vitamin D. You won't be able to get vitamin D from your diet. So you decide to supplement it. And then your decision is reasonable. And then you think of what type of vitamin D you want, at what quantity you want, and then you process through the need. So yeah, if you can get protein, for example, from your diet, you don't need to drink additional shakes if you can get the right quantity from foods that you consume. So that's the main message. You will be able to get the protein, but you won't be able to get the creatine, because creatine is present in raw meat. So the quantity of creatine that some weightlifters need in order for it to show the ergogenic effect on the performance is equivalent of eating 4 kilos of raw meat, which is impossible. So this is also the substance that you want to supplement. So what if you failed the test? Many athletes fail tests because of the supplements products they use. Therefore, as I said, some supplements might contain the banned substances and you might not even know about it, as they might get contaminated during the manufacturing process. Also, they can contain some ingredients listed differently to how they appear on prohibited list. So some products, when you buy over the internet, when you purchase your products, be very careful if you have to do it. It's better to use the trusted sources and sources that are batch tested and designed for athletes. Okay, so let's talk about the Nutritix. Nutritix is the program that will analyze your dietary record to the extent which is far beyond what MyFitnessPal does. And therefore, this program is used by professional dietitians and sport nutritionists, as it will show you clearly. It will produce the report on your dietary record, and it will show you clearly how of what you consumed and how is it missing, is it in line with the recommendations. And unlike MyFitnessPal, you can also, which is very useful for the athletes, you can use the formulas that are included for general population, or you can adjust it for the needs of your athletes, where the grams of carbohydrates or macronutrients in general are measured in grams per kilogram of the body accordingly to the exercise intensity. So it's taking your nutrition to the next level. MyFitnessPal will let you do it. So it's much more helpful. Thank you very much. And that's the presentation done. I hope you got a beautiful evening and thank you for listening.